So today I will be doing my casual full face makeup. We start with a clean face with moisturizer. And the importance of moisturizing is to make sure that you don't break out, your skin isn't dry, and even if you have oily skin, you should moisturize because it'll make sure that the oils that are overproduced in your skin aren't caused from bacteria and all that nasty stuff that you don't want on your face or anywhere. So first we start with a primer. This is Smashbox Photo Finish, just the regular kind. They have a bunch of different kinds for specialty problems like blemish control or color correctant or whatever. But I always put this on kind of right underneath my thumb knuckle. And I like to use my ring finger just because it kind of warms up the product so it will distribute easier. And I start under my eyes. And a little bit definitely goes a long way. So you don't have to use a ton, which is really nice. And always get under your eyebrows and on your eyelid. And if you have an eye makeup primer, put that on top of just a face primer because you should put facial powder. When you use transparent powder, you should put that on your eyelids to make them not look veiny and purpley like everybody's eyebrows kind of do naturally. So after you use the primer, move on to foundation, and I use Makeup Forever HD Definition Foundation in N117 because I'm white as heck. And again, right underneath my thumb knuckle, and I'm using a foundation brush by MAC 190 SE. And just dab it onto the tip, and then little triangle, and then the excess I put underneath my nose. I'm gonna rub that in. And you should put concealer if you have serious problem areas or especially red parts of your skin or really bad under eye bags. You should put that on top of your foundation before your powder. And I actually don't really like this kind of foundation brush because it makes it look kind of streaky, but it provides more of the product on your face, so I just kind of run my ring finger over it so it doesn't look streaky, but it gets the same amount of product on as a better brush would, I guess. A really big problem that a lot of people tend to do is they put too much foundation on their forehead, and because your forehead sweats more than almost the rest of your face, most of the rest of your face anyways, that's what causes a lot of bacteria to get in there and make you break out really bad on your forehead. And I just take the extra little bit and put it kind of under my eyebrows, on my eyelids, because sometimes, if you don't have an eye makeup primer, which I don't specifically for my eyes, it kind of acts as a setting cream for your eye makeup to go somewhere and not crease into your eyelids. So I usually am using CoverGirl's just loose powder, but the lid broke, so it's in a plastic bag for me right now until I can go to the store and get more. And I'm using MAC 129 SE. It's just a little powder brush. I just dab a little in there and then tap off the excess because, you know, too much concentrated in one area. Oh my gosh. And then you start by patting under your eyes, areas that are more red. And this kind of just makes your skin not shiny, I guess. It sets your foundation really well, so it doesn't turn and crease all in like your forehead or under your eyes or what have you. And then I am using, for contouring, this is like the classic NARS palette, and it's Orgasm and Laguna. My Laguna broke, but I'm just like tapping my powder brush because I don't have a contour brush either, and make a fish face, and you go from the top down towards the corner of your mouth, so kind of by where your ear is, and that's where you want it to be mostly concentrated. But then you can go up from your temple and just very lightly brush it down onto your jaw and blend it into your neck. And you want to make sure that you're going kind of in circular motions when you go back, because you don't want it to look like a straight line, because that's kind of ridiculous. And the importance of contouring is just to define your bones, and it just kind of makes your face look more structured. Some people, like myself, I have like a wider set nose right here, and so I like to put a little bit of bronzer just there. A huge misconception when it comes to bronzer is that you're supposed to put it all over your face to make you look more tan, so then it doesn't match your neck or your chest, and you look kind of silly. So don't do that. That's a really big beauty problem. Then I move on to my eyebrows. And for my eyebrows, I'm using Anastasia's Dip Brow Pomade in Soft Brown. The cool thing about this product is that a little bit truly goes a long way. I'm using just an Eco Tools angled brush for this also. So what you do is you kind of just, and that's almost enough for this specific product. There's a lot of other products that you can use for your eyebrows. Like Anastasia makes awesome eyebrow products. Definitely would highly recommend this brand if you're serious about your brow. So the way that your eyebrows are naturally shaped is the way that you should fill them in. You shouldn't try to make them look more one way. You're supposed to make them shape your face. And in order to do that, you start kind of here at the bottom corner, and you kind of tap it there, and you kind of fill in this just bottom line, and then you line the bottom. I'm going to move my mirror closer. You line the bottom of your eyebrow, and you can extend it a little bit if you want, and then you kind of line like halfway into your eyebrow to the tip on the top, and you just fill it in like end to front. And I find it easier if I cock my eyebrows when I do this, but not everybody does. Another really big misconception when it comes to like doing eyebrows is that you're supposed to super fill in right here in this kind of corner, or that you're not supposed to fill it in at all. And you want to make sure that your eyebrows, the product in your eyebrows, are super evenly distributed. You don't want patchy eyebrows. So what a lot of people do, and what I would recommend doing, and I would do if I had the tools, is you can use a spoolie and just kind of brush through your eyebrows without anything on it. just to make sure the product is evenly distributed. You want to make sure that when you're doing anything with your eyebrows, you're not making sharp lines, because hair doesn't grow in sharp lines. That also includes when you're drawing hair. You don't draw it in sharp lines because it doesn't grow that way naturally. I mean, if you choose to have like really thick eyebrows, go for it, but make sure they frame your face the way they're supposed to. And in the front, I always brush up, just because that's the way my hair naturally kind of goes. So after you have the product on your brows, always use a clear eyebrow gel, or some people like to use tinted eyebrow gels, but I don't, because they're not the same as my eyebrows ever. I can never find one that's the same color as my freaking eyebrows. I'm using a clear eyebrow gel, also from Anastasia. It's just a little spoolie with clear eyebrow gel, and you just brush up at the front of your eyebrow and then back for the rest of it. So brush up and then back. And this helps keep your eyebrow hairs in place, and it helps distribute the product and everything. So definitely a need to do step. Even if you don't fill in your eyebrows, you should always use eyebrow gel, in my opinion. Then what I like to do to clean them up is, I do this with lipstick too. I put a little bit more foundation on and use, this is where these kind of foundation brushes come in really handy. Again, my 190 SE. You just dab a very little bit of it onto the tip, and you kind of line underneath your eyebrow with your foundation, and then again on top. And you want to make sure that after you've put the product on, you blend it really well, whether that be with your fingers or your brush, or both in my case. And if you choose not to use foundation because it's summertime, or just because you don't like how heavy it sits, you can use something really similar, like a color corrected. And this is what I used. Well, this is my favorite product over the summer. This is my Stila color corrected cream, and it comes out green and just kind of blends in with your natural skin color. You can set that with powder if you want to, but I don't. Then I move on to my eyes, and my favorite palette of the moment is my Pulp Fiction palette by Urban Decay, and I'm using my MAC 213 SE, and I'm just dabbing it in Righteous, just like a very pale color, matte. I'm just gonna brush that on like all over the lid, and then up onto your brow bone, because that will help hide it, and it just gives like your eyelids a total all over same color sort of deal, which is good. And then I'm using Tyranny. I didn't know how to pronounce that, but it's just kind of a little bit darker than this. It's what most people call their medium color when it comes to like a smoky eye, which is kind of what I do casually, just a really like nude smoky eye. So you tap it onto your eyelid. I always start in the middle with all colors like that are gonna go all over my lid. because that's where you want it to be most saturated. And then I'm using Vengeance, which is like a darker, it's not matte like the other two, just a darker brown for a crease color. And that goes in the outer corner of my eye and kind of follows into my crease. But I have really little eyelids, so I make my crease a little bit higher than it naturally is. Like, not by much, but by a little bit. And then I'm going to use my blending brush, which is 224 by MAC, and no product goes on that. And I start in the outer corner, go in little circles. So then I still using my blending brush, and I'm using what I think is Anger, which is this white kind of sparkly color that's awesome for highlights. So I'm going to put it on my inner corner, right there. And then, oh, there's more. I have this palette that I got for Christmas. I am Keepsake Smoky Face Palette by MAC. And in it there is 3 eyeshadows, a luminizer, and some lip stuff. And I like to use the lip brush, which is, I think it's 316. It's either 275 or 316. One end is one, I don't know. And I dab it in this matte black, which is Carbon, and I push it entering at the very top of my eyelashes, like right there's kind of like a crease where your eyelid cuts off, and your eyelashes grow there usually, and just right on top of your eyelashes. I like to put this just because it defines your eyelashes and makes them look thicker when you wear mascara, and just kind of makes my eyes look less almondy and more circly, more open. Awesome. And then always, when curling your eyelashes, curl your eyelashes before you put on mascara. Otherwise it makes your eyelash curler gross, and it doesn't keep the whole curl as long. So you just stick it over there and squeeze it a couple times. I like to bring my eyelash curler out slowly and keep curling, just so it's curling all of my eyelashes instead of like having one crease and then they're straight. Some people like to heat their eyelash curlers. I have never personally done it, so I don't know if it works better than just regular. And by heating, they just kind of use a blow dryer or something of this nature. And then this is my MAC, again, Hot and Naughty Lash Mascara, and it's just black. It doesn't have a color, so black. In this mascara, there's 2 kinds of brushes. It's the same formula, but on the lower one, it's a very thick brush, which I use when I put on false eyelashes, or if I'm wearing like a lot of eyeliner. And then the thinner one, which is my preference for casual wear, is a lot thinner. And just start at the bottom and wiggle it up and kind of blink into it. And I like to rotate the handle because it helps not plump. And don't pump your mascara like this either, because that will dry out your mascara super fast. So I always just twist it out. That took longer than I expected. So you can either stop here, or I am super lipstick obsessed, and I wear red lipstick almost every day. And my favorites right now are Ruby Woo by MAC and Mrs. Mia Wallace by Urban Decay. And I'm going to mix them, because that's how I get my favorite. You always want to use a lip liner because it helps your lipstick not to bleed. But before, you always want to make sure that your lips are moisturized and exfoliated. And I exfoliate my lips regularly, but you can make like a sugar scrub with like sugar and chapstick and just rub it on your lips and wipe it off, because that helps it not crease like in your lips right here. But I just use Vaseline because. So again, this is Ruby Woo by MAC. I don't know if that will focus or not. And I always start at like the bottom, like the middle of my bottom lip, and really light strokes. Then I just follow the. I have like I don't know. My lips are really weird, I guess, and so they have like a lighter sort of pink color on the outside of where like my actual lip line is. And if you're over drawing your lips for like a Kylie Jenner kind of look, that's where you should draw with your lip pencil, is out here. But when I just do casual, I just do it on the inside of the line, on the darker part of my lips. And then you want to bring it in so it blends with your lipstick and it's not like lip liner lipstick. What my mom used to do when I was a kid, and she didn't want to buy both the lipstick and lip pencil, so she just bought the lip pencil and put chapstick on and then put the lip liner on and just colored in her lips. And I mean, it worked fine, but I strongly prefer lipstick. And then for your Cupid's bow, some people say to draw like an X, and I just think that's too complicated. So I just, like, again, start in the middle and draw up, and then I follow it down. Okay, nice little pop. Now I'm going to use Mrs. Mia Wallace by Urban Decay. And I'm just going to fill in the rest of my lips. And you always want to blot, and then what I did with my eyebrows, I do with my lips also. And I put a little bit, again, thumb knuckle. This brush again. And then line my lips with it. Another thing that you can do for making your lipstick last longer is put toilet paper over it and then use like a powder brush and just tap a little bit of powder on top of the toilet paper and take it off and blot again. I'm not going to do that. But then to finish, you always use a setting spray or setting powder. This is Urban Decay's All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. And you just spray it in an X across your face. So. And then, here, I'll